As far as wireline broadband is concerned, India is at the bottom of all charts in the world. Yeah, we
Oh,
have we have just 3 crore connections for a population of 140 crores. This penetration is per capita penetration is lower than in our neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Nepal. They have better per capita penetration than India. I mean,
okay.
you'll ask me why? Why is it
Hmm.
this? Why has
Yeah.
this happened? Yeah, why have we not done well in wireline broadband? Take any city: Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune. 75% of people of that city live in areas which are unstructured. Yeah,
Agreed.
we
Hmm.
call those areas Bharat, and
Right.
25% of the city is fully structured, well done. Yeah,
Right.
so for wireline broadband, historically all telcos prefer this 25%, and also since more affluent people live in these areas, if the revenue per user will be much higher and return on investment will be much faster. Yeah, so they were always focusing on this 25%, while as
Hmm.
75% was neglected all the time. This is the opportunity that Excitel wanted to sort of exploit. This is the problem we were trying to solve. The problem of bringing high speed, world class, fiber to home, wireline broadband to unstructured India.
Hi, Vivek. Welcome to
Hey,
Confab. Thank you so much for giving us time.
hey, Monica, nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Vivek, are you an accidental entrepreneur or you have been manifesting it for a long time?
Not accidental at all. I started working in 2001, and it was only after 2.5, 3 years that I understood that I need to start something on my own. And since I liked the line in which I had accidentally fallen, which was the wireline broadband, I said, okay, I have to specialize in this now, and I'll do something on my own in wireline broadband. This is year 2004, 3, 4 that I'm talking about. I tried to do something, but things didn't work out. As you know, there was no ecosystem of angel investors back then who would back some rookie as me at
Mhm.
that point of time. Forget angel investors. There were no PE funds per se in India at that point of time, or somebody who could back you up at that point of time. So all you could hope for is some foreign investors, because investors of foreigners in India had started, and it was
Mhm.
so all you could hope for is some foreign investor would sort of fancy you and sort of invest in you ultimately. But it didn't happen to me for next 10 years, because see, ultimately what they valued or what anybody else valued was experience. How much experience are you in the field? It was not a
Mhm.
time when two rookie boys were dropping out from Stanford, they could start Dunzo. It didn't happen like that. You
Right, right.
you you needed to have experience and you needed to look serious to them.
Hmm.
And it took me 10, 11 years to look serious. So ultimately, we started Excitel Broadband in 2015. But I met my co-founders who also invested in the company, who are European, in 2010-11. So
Okay.
it took me some time to convince them to finally invest, and finally we started Excitel Broadband in 2015. So yeah, coming back to your question, it was not accidental at all. I was trying to sort of manifest it from a long time, because I believe there are only three big addictions that you have to get rid of in your life. That
Mhm.
is cocaine, carbohydrates, and monthly salary. So, so, so
I know. Hmm.
yeah, if you're addicted to it, then you are tied up for the rest of your life. You cannot achieve major things. You are not working for your own self. You're not working to create something that you like, something you want to do. You're working because you want a salary at the next at the next cycle, and you want to buy next stuff. That's how it is. You want to upgrade your TV, you want to upgrade your phone, you want to upgrade your house, and your whole life is spent doing that. So yes, not incidental entrepreneur at all.
I completely relate to that, Vivek. When we also started, I was in 40s. Everyone in my circle, like my family, my friends, all my well-wishers said, are you crazy? You're starting something at the age of 40. You have so many responsibilities. So I can understand, how you would have felt.
Yeah. I mean, coming from same Kashmiri Pandit community, where everybody is, doing a job. First, they were all government employees, and now they're all corporate employees, but
Hmm.
employees nonetheless. So it didn't come naturally to them. But I had made my mind pretty early that
Hmm.
I'm going out of this rut of monthly salary and working just because somebody else is giving me targets to accomplish. Yeah. And then the other thing that if you really want to create wealth, there's no way you can do that by having a job. I mean, more than that, the fundamental principle is following that if your input and output is synchronous,
Hmm.
you can never create wealth. What do we mean by that? That is, if you are being paid for your time,
Hmm.
you're an employee and you're being paid for 8 9 hours that you spend in the office or work, and then at the end of the month you get a salary.
Right.
There is always a ceiling. There are limited hours you can work for, and that will be paid for. So
Hmm.
you can never exponentially create wealth. Or even if you are a you're a doctor, or you are a architect, or you are a chartered accountant working on your own, there is limit to number of patients or clients you can sort of service in a day.
Hmm.
You yourself will become the ceiling, so you cannot go beyond that. And so therefore, if your input and output are synchronous, are related, are directly proportional, you never create wealth.
I
You need to
agree.
reach a stage where you make money while you're sleeping. If you're not making
Hmm.
money while you're sleeping, you'll never create wealth. And you need leverage for that. Something that can multiply your efforts. And there are many types of leverages. Oldest form of leverage known to mankind is people. People work for you, and you sort of pay them or whatever, and it's the oldest kind of leverage humans have known. Pharaohs used to have slaves who would create pyramids while they would sleep, and
Right.
so on and so forth. But it's very difficult to maintain human beings. It's very complicated to maintain humans. Ultimately, you have to pay them, and then now that we're in an era of human rights, where every human is deemed equal, and therefore it's all the more complicated. Pharaohs
Hmm.
could do it, we cannot. So then second form of leverage is money. You have money, money creates money for you, but we
Hmm.
don't. None of us had money, so yeah, it's not possible for us. And that's good for people whose fathers have done great for themselves and they have money, and so they don't need to do anything. Usually that's why you see most of the rich kids are aimless in their life, because they have money and they don't know what to do with it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the third form of leverage would be an IP, intellectual. You have. For example, what you are doing right now, you're creating a podcast right now. It is your IP, and if it does well, you're sleeping. It makes money for you. Yeah.
Right.
Or you write a book, and book gets published, and it makes money for you. Or you create a movie or whatever. More so in the time of internet, you are in the zone of infinite leverage if you're using
Hmm.
internet. There isn't a limit of how much you can make or how many people can consume the content while you're sleeping. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or closer home, you can have equity. Either you are a founder, or you are a co-founder, or you are an early employee of a startup and you get equity, and that equity is your way to create wealth. So for these many reasons that are listed in last 10 minutes, I was always sure that I'll create something on my own, rather than depend on a monthly salary.
Right. Incredible. So, how much of luck and how much of hard work do you attribute to your success?
I think when you wait for 10 years for somebody to fund you, it's not really luck. Luck would have had I found somebody in the first year itself or second year. No, it didn't happen like that. It was frustrating for many, many years. I kept on working in different corporations, and you know how it is like to work in a corporation where there's nothing much you can do other than
Hmm.
this much. Yeah. So I was working with big telcos, and yeah, doing pretty much nothing much there, and also at the same time looking for a way to create something on my own. So yeah, at the start it was not much luck. Even when I met my co-founders, we didn't start anything for 4 years. We
Okay.
kept in contact. We kept in touch. We kept on talking to each other for 4 years.
Four
It didn't
years is
materialize.
pretty long
Yeah,
time, huh?
yeah. It didn't materialize. But so I would say luck at that point of time was not so much in play. Okay, finally, yes, the fact that I met my co-founders was, you can say, by coincidence. But beyond that, you had to persist and you had to be dogged in your efforts to sort of get through it. It doesn't come easy. I don't think it comes easy for anybody. And when one has to sort of persist and believe in what you are trying to do. And there were many times when they were foreigners, they didn't know. I mean, but I was, you can say, more than confident. I wouldn't say overconfident, but I was more than confident. I was giving them confidence that we can do it. Yeah, and then finally it happened. So yeah, not much of a luck in that sense. And after that, I would say, okay, fine. Once you put in the hard work, there are times when you need that push of luck. But without hard work, it will not happen. Without giving everything that you have, and once you start it, when you start a company like this, there's no free time and there is no personal time. It's over for next 4 5 years. I mean, we started in 2005. I would say till sorry, 2015. I
15,
kept on saying
15.
5. Sorry.
Yeah.
2015 we started, and let's say till 2020 I had no personal time. For first 5 years, I had to give everything to the company. And there's no distinction between personal life and professional life too when you sort of do something like this. And okay, once you put in so much effort, once you're so deeply embedded and so deeply, concerned about what you're doing, then luck tends to help you also if you care so much. So I think you have to first prove yourself for luck to sort of rub in the right way.
And then universe conspires.
Yeah. If you want it, yeah, that dialogue from that movie. Then you inspire, universe conspires to get right people to you to for many things. Yes, it
Mhm.
happens. But you need to want it strong enough, and you need to execute and put everything that you have into it. Once you do it, yes, things will start happening, and you start meeting people who sort of your teammates and right set of investors and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So what's your mojo?
I'm not sure. I mean, fundamentally, I'm a person. I'll tell you who sort of once I make my mind to do something, I am extremely dogged about it. I lose myself into it,
Okay.
and I'm happy about it. I think that's how it should be. I mean, once I set my eyes on something, I become that thing. There,
Okay.
there are no two thoughts. There are no divergence. There are no, there's no going back as such. And once you become that, then it manifests. It happens. My colleagues tell me that I have a great, sense of anticipation in the business. I have intuition about the business. No, it's not intuition. It's knowing it so closely. Living it every day. Be this all the time. That gives you this intuition. It's not intuition actually. It's informed. You know it. You feel the pulse. You are the pulse.
You're
So
right.
so
I
so then
agree.
it happens. It comes to you. You can see
Hmm.
it clearly that others think is intuition.
I know this is what my team also says, or our clients also say. So how do you suggest things in a jiffy? I said, and then I say, I have gone through these cycles for 20 long years for me to be able to comprehend and suggest something in a jiffy, because those
Yes.
cycles, you become part of those cycles. And the
Yes.
way you said that there is no line of demarcation which separates you from that core of what you're delivering, and that's how your intuitiveness, spontaneous spontaneity in
Yes.
what you're proposing comes.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Interesting. So if you have to rank passion, purpose, and scale in descending order, so
In
how would
descending
you?
order.
Yeah,
Uh,
descending
s-
order.
okay. So the scale would be at the bottom or at the top because it is descending,
Okay.
and passion would be after that, and purpose would be the first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So purpose for me is at the core. Why are you doing what you're doing? You should be very
Hmm.
clear about it, because
Hmm.
once you're clear about what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve, and you have bought yourself internally what you want to
Hmm.
achieve, passion comes naturally.
Hmm.
If you're not clear about what you want to do and what it is all about, or you change your mind in the midst, passion will not last. Passion
Hmm.
just is an offshoot of purpose. Once you have purpose, you are fully aligned internally and externally, then passion develops. There's a purpose for you, and for that purpose you have passion. And once you have passion and purpose, when you mix passion and purpose, scale comes. Yeah. So ultimately it's all dependent on purpose. When I meet, because these days I meet many budding entrepreneurs, I try to mentor them. The first thing I tell them is to look at the problem they're trying to solve. What is the
Hmm.
problem they're trying to solve? Okay, fine. There is a problem. Do they have a solution for that problem? Have they figured out the solution? Okay, fine. They have figured out the solution also. But can they make out a business model for that solution?
Hmm.
Is it viable business this solution that they're proposing? Because all the three elements have to be there. If they're not there, there's no business. Ultimately, we're trying to start a business. Yeah.
Hmm.
And once you have all the three elements there, then passion can jump in, and you can put all the passion in to achieve those results that you're envisaging for yourself. But if you don't have purpose, you're not figured out what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do, passion has no legs to stand. Yeah. Just to be passionate about nothing is destructive usually. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what is Excitel solving?
Excitel is solving. Okay, let me first tell you something about India that probably
Yes.
you would not be knowing till now. It is about internet penetration in India. You would have
Hmm.
heard that we're doing very well in terms of internet penetration, and around 70% of 60% of Indian population has a mobile phone or can access internet. But this is mobile broadband that we're talking
Hmm.
about.
Hmm. Hmm.
As far as wireline broadband is concerned, India is at the bottom of all charts in the world. Yeah, we
Oh,
have we have just 3 crore connections for a population of 140 crores. Okay,
that's
okay.
that's small, pretty small, right?
Uh, yeah, okay. So but there's another thing that these connections are not used individually, so we have to see households. Okay,
Hmm.
let's
Hmm. Hmm.
divide by four. We're still saying there are 40 crore households and 3 crore connections. Okay,
Hmm.
we'll say
Hmm.
half of them are rural. They'll
Hmm.
not have broadband in foreseeable future. Let's say 20 crore households, still 3 crore connections.
Hmm.
Let's say half of them are poor, urban poor.
Hmm.
Still,
Hmm.
let's say 10 crore people who can afford it, who should have it and still don't have it. Only 3 crore have it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So this penetration is per capita penetration is lower than in our neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Nepal. They have better per capita penetration than India. I mean,
Okay.
as I
This is
said,
an eye opener for me.
yeah, as I said, we are really at the bottom of charts
Hmm.
globally
Hmm. Hmm.
in
Hmm.
this indicator. And now you'll ask me why? Why is it
Hmm.
this? Why has
Yeah.
this happened? Yeah, why have we not, done well in wireline broadband? First and foremost, it's a vast country. There are hundreds and hundreds of cities around the country, and it is very difficult for anybody to deploy so much of capital. Because when we say wireline broadband, we mean we have to bring wire physically to each and every household.
Hmm.
It's not
Hmm.
like a mobile phone wherein you have a tower for locality and all the houses in that area light up because of that one tower. You have to physically bring wire and then also
Right.
maintain that wire.
Right.
All the time. So even if you have billions and billions of dollars, still it's very complicated to deploy so much of
Hmm.
capital on the streets. That's one
Right.
and more obvious. But what is more complicated is the way Indian cities are structured. What do I mean by that?
Okay.
Look at any Indian city,
Hmm.
uh, any Indian city for the matter. You will see that 20-25% of city is structured, planned, well done, proper lanes and back lanes, or multi-story building with shafts. While 75% percent of people in that city live in areas which have evolved on their own.
Hmm.
Lanes and back lanes, no proper
Right.
planning, no proper civic services, so on and so forth. So take any city, Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune. 75% of people of that city live in areas which are unstructured. Yeah,
Agreed.
we
Hmm.
call those areas Bharat. And
Right.
25% of the city is fully structured, well done. Yeah.
Right.
So for wireline broadband, historically, all telcos prefer this 25%,
Hmm.
where it is easy to lay your fiber. There are proper shafts, or there are proper building permissions, or proper back lanes through which you can pull the fiber. And also, since more affluent people live in these areas, the revenue per user will be much higher, and return on investment will be much faster. Yeah. So they were always focusing on this 25%, while as
Hmm.
78% was neglected all the time. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Also, historically, because the internet could be consumed only on a laptop or a desktop, this is what they used to tell us: check laptop penetration in the area or desktop penetration in the area before starting wireline broadband. But that
Hmm.
also changed with the advent of smartphone. With smartphone, you consume content. Everybody has a smartphone, and whether they live in structured or unstructured, whether they live in a slum, they have a smartphone. And also, what has changed is what internet is being used for. Internet, when the speeds were 1 Mbps or 512 kbps, let's say when Excel started in 2014, these were the 14, 15, these were the average speeds: 1 Mbps, 2 Mbps. And what can you do with such a speed? You
Hmm.
can do productivity enhancement work. You can surf the web, do some research, check your mail, at the most chat. Yeah, we used to have that Yahoo Messenger to chat, and that's what it is. Yeah.
I know.
But as you increase the speeds, it becomes the primary source of entertainment in a household. You start watching
Hmm.
videos, yeah, and entertainment is something which everybody needs, whether they live in a
Hmm.
slum or a middle class area or rich area. Everybody wants to see that movie. Everybody wants to check on the series. Everybody wants to listen to songs. So entertainment is one universal thing which goes, in all types of areas in a city across demographic divide, yeah, or economic divide for that matter.
Hmm.
And therefore,
Hmm.
wireline broadband becomes a primary tool for everybody in the city, which till 2014 was not the case before Excitel. And this is the opportunity that Excitel wanted to sort of exploit. This is the problem we were trying to solve. The problem of bringing high speed, world class, fiber to home, wireline broadband to unstructured India. That was the
Okay.
problem we were trying to solve, and that's the problem we have been trying to have a stab at from last 7, 8 years ever since we have started.
Incredible. So, how do you ensure that you're giving world-class solution at an affordable price point? What's your model?
So first and foremost, the scale. 75% of people are living in
Hmm.
these areas, and if you can convince them that the wireline broadband is thing for them,
Hmm.
then the scale will take care of your economics. That's not a problem. Secondly, we decided very early in our journey that we are going only fiber to home. No copper
Hmm.
in between, no traditional technologies in between. It has to be a
Hmm.
fiber that goes to home and can deliver ultimately unlimited bandwidth
Hmm.
to each and every household. The bandwidth should never be a constraint. You see, when Delhi on an average was at 1 Mbps, 2 Mbps speed, we started 20 Mbps. The
Hmm.
first package or first offering to customers was 20 Mbps. Yeah. So it was like way ahead of everybody else. People even didn't know why. People used to have, other companies rather, used to, even big telcos, they used to have something called FUP, which they called fair usage policy, which was basically penalizing customer for using internet. They would say, if you use this much of bandwidth or this much of download data, we'll curtail your speed, we'll throttle your speed.
Hmm. Hmm.
Which was counterintuitive for us. I said, why would you do that? You're telling them not
Hmm.
to use.
Hmm. Hmm.
We said no FUP, unlimited, really unlimited, 20 Mbps in 2015, and have fun for 500 rupees. Yeah. Now we give 200 Mbps for that 500 rupees.
Incredible.
But yeah, so we've always maintained the speed superiority. We've always told customers to use high quality videos. When it was HD, we do use till HD, then 4K, 8K, whatever. Do it. You deserve the best because our back end is quite rugged. It is meant for fiber to home, and therefore we are able to deliver it. As far as economics go, I told you the scale is so big that it can take care of itself. You have to be affordable, you have to be world class, so that this demographic divide, that existed in India between structured and unstructured, this digital divide can be bridged, and we're playing our part to bridge that.
So, I would like to understand that at my personal level, I have kind of faced internet issues in the past where there is such a big challenge to get through the real person who's managing your service or who's maintaining your account. So this kind of is sometimes a very cumbersome process for a customer like me who is taking a service and is not getting. So how do you kind of ensure that all the stakeholders in this entire value chain are offering the right quality at the right what do you say, right point of delivery? So what are the processes that you follow?
In our case, all customer touch points are controlled by Excitel.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
whether it is sales,
Hmm.
onboarding of the customer, putting
Hmm.
device inside the home of the customer,
Hmm.
maintaining customer experience, call center, chat, self care, even till customer exit. All customer touch points are maintained by Excitel. One number, one chat, one app. You
Okay.
just have to go there. Whatever has to be done in the back end, whosoever has to be contacted to get the problem resolved is job of the customer experience team of Excitel. The customer
Hmm.
doesn't have to bother about where to go, how to go, why to go.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
have
Hmm.
to just talk in the customer experience team, and that's it. Yeah. Okay. There are many stakeholders in between because we work in these unstructured areas, and our local cabling is done
Hmm.
you by a local partner. But
Hmm.
customer doesn't have to bother about that.
Hmm.
Who's
Hmm.
doing, which department is it in, whether it's on the street, whether the issue is in the back end, whether the issue is in the device. Excitel needs to confirm that, and Excitel needs to sort of rectify that, and customer has to interact only with Excitel.
Okay. So how many cities are you active in India now?
Currently in 32 cities. I
Okay.
mean, this includes many small cities also. Let's say among the big ones, Delhi, obviously, the home turf.
Right.
After that, we went to Hyderabad, second home, and then Bangalore. We are in state capitals Lucknow, we're in Jaipur,
Hmm.
we are in Kanpur, we are in Patna, we are in many smaller towns of UP, right from Gorakhpur to Meerut,
Okay.
including Varanasi, Prayagraj, and so on and so forth. So yeah, many towns, and we are in Srinagar also to some extent.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So how do you choose your cities? What's the rationale?
Yeah, mostly. See,
Because
ultimately, this business.
you said first you started Delhi, then you moved to Hyderabad. So how did you decide all
Yeah,
this?
so you have to look at the scale. You have to look at the penetration of wireline broadband, and you have to look at ultimately where is the wireline broadband market in that city. What is what are the various players? What is the
Hmm.
strength of those players? What is the market like, and how do you fit in
Hmm.
into the ecosystem? So Delhi was obvious choice because I've always been working in Delhi, and it's
Hmm.
easier
Right. Right.
to do it. Hyderabad, my counterpart in my earlier company was there,
Hmm.
Raghuram Reddy, and we knew he had what type of control he had on the ground. So we
Hmm.
started Hyderabad. Then obviously Bangalore. Obviously North was extension. See, I'll tell you logically what happens. You start a big city,
Right.
uh, and because this is a wireline thing, you have to bring wire in every household, as I said before.
Exactly.
It depends on scale, how much scale you can get.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
profitability of this business comes through scale
Hmm.
because ultimately these are same wires. Whether you put one
Right.
customer on it, 10 customer on it, 100 customer on it, is the same fiber. Yeah,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
more
Hmm.
scale you get, the better it is for the business, unit economics of the business.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so we go to a big city.
Right.
Once you cover all parts of the city, you go to the smaller towns nearby,
Right.
and then from smaller towns to yet smaller towns in the way. Yeah,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
you you spread like this. Yeah.
Right.
Similarly, when you started Delhi and Delhi became successful, then you went to Meerut, you went to nearby towns, Ghaziabad, Noida, Gurgaon, and Palwal. You kept on spreading like this.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Similarly, from Hyderabad, once Hyderabad was done, we started spreading in Telangana, in other
Hmm.
towns,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Khammam, Nalgonda, many towns in that side. Similarly with Bangalore, and similarly with the other cities. Yeah. So that's how we
Interesting.
spread basically. Yeah.
Right. Understood. Understood. So discuss something about your childhood. What did your parents do? How was it growing up in a small town?
Well, yeah, nostalgic memories. It was almost idyllic. I mean, growing up in Srinagar,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you would know overpowering sense of space. Space was so
Yes.
much. You had so much space there that it overpowered you at times. As a child, the houses were big. For example, if you played hide and seek, you could hide for hours and nobody would ever find you. So, so 3 stories, so many rooms. Nobody goes to
Right.
some of those rooms ever. and so on and so forth. Yeah. And then when you go out, step out of your house, the river, there is river, there are lakes, there are mountains, there are gardens, you know. So I have this memory from my childhood, that overpowering sense of space that
Hmm.
we had there. My parents, my father was a government servant, so nothing special about that. We were just middle class family, living in a middle class part of the town called Chatabal. So nothing special there, quite ordinary. And even my schooling was quite ordinary. I didn't go to Bisco or Burn Hall as everybody in Srinagar would go. I went to a local school called National School.
Hmm.
So there was nothing special as such, particularly for me there. But yes, my memory of my childhood is this overpowering sense of space, and also camaraderie and brotherhood we had around us. You always felt safe there, whether you're
Hmm.
on the street or in your neighbor's home. It just felt like home. Yeah, and irrespective of whether it was a Pandit home or a Muslim home, you were just in your neighborhood and in your locality, and it was home. Yeah, so that sense of that sense of protective embrace, and that sense of family was there everywhere. I mean, that's what I remember right now, and this overall powering sense of space. So these are the two things. Come summer, you would go out on a bicycle and roam around wherever you had to. Nobody bothered. I was like 10, 11. Nobody ever bothered to stop me, or where were you? It's not safe. Such questions were not asked. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Come Sunday, you went to Shankaracharya temple. You did a trekking. Not that you were religious or something, but it was fun to climb up
Yeah.
the hill every
Right.
Sunday,
Right.
or go and jump in the lake. So yeah, fun. Mostly outdoors. Thankfully, we didn't have uh, internet to keep us at home. We didn't have these
Yes.
devices. We didn't even have cable TV to keep it at home. So there was
Hmm.
nothing much. There was this Doordarshan which used to start at 7:30 in the evening sometimes, and mostly boring for kids. So yeah, mostly outdoors. So this was this sense that we already did. And obviously all this got cut short when the violence started in Kashmir and we had to move to Jammu. So all this space and the protective sort of environment gave way to very hostile kind of weather, environment, and also sense of space went out the window completely.
Hmm.
From having a big house, you were in one small room with a
Hmm.
kitchen corner of that room. So this was the first reality check for me personally. Very early, I was in, I think, class 9 at that time. So very early in my life, I understood that whatever you take as given in your life is not actually given. Can be
Hmm.
taken out any moment. There's nothing permanent around you, and there's
Hmm.
nothing permanent within you also till now. So better create something which remains with you all the time. Within you have to build a foundation which stays with you all the time to give you some semblance, some footing, some leverage in this world. Otherwise you're lost, you're a drifter. Because
Hmm.
yeah. So I think these thoughts were there post migration, and I think I started liking philosophy naturally
Okay.
after this. Yeah, I took to philosophy, and my grandfather. It helped that my grandfather was reading a lot of G. Krishnamurti and Osho those days, and so I sort of started reading his books. But I was in class 10, and my parents told me, "What are you crazy? You're not studying your stuff, and you're studying your grandfather's stuff." Yeah, but I liked it. Yeah, and then I wanted to study philosophy as a subject, but I was not allowed. They said, no, 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 there's no job. Come on, you need to work, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's how it was. Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you feel now, after leaving your high paying job, and how did you initially manage your withdrawal symptoms?
Withdrawal symptoms. I was ready. I told you I was ready for many, many
Yes.
years. So this was, I knew this is my time. This is the time when I have to put everything and prove myself. I mean, I was waiting for this opportunity to come, and I grabbed it with my both hands. I didn't let it go at all. So sort of, I sort of, I put all that I had. I mean, this was my chance. It was the
Okay.
one chance I had got.
Yes. Right. So
So there was no regret at all.
how was your family's reaction to it?
I don't know. I didn't see them for many years. so,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, difficult to some extent for them also, but they understood that he's possessed now. I mean, there's no point. There's no point
Hmm.
saying anything. Yeah, so they could see it has taken over me completely, and yeah, then sort of. Initially, they were saying it's too much. You will, lose your health and all. But then they gave up. Said, forget it. It's not happening. He's in his own world now. So yeah, that way is, I didn't have much issues. Family was supportive in that sense.
So what do they say now?
And also sorry, and also what I did was, I helped myself in that sense. So, the first thing I did, I brought my home very close to office.
Okay.
Yeah, so the travel time was reduced considerably compared to my earlier jobs.
Hmm.
Because now, because I could do it, I could
Hmm.
choose to stay in a specific part of the city, and then also I got help for them, drivers and the maids, and do whatever you want to do, anything, so 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 yeah, something like that. And now also I'm continuing the same at a higher scale. Do whatever you want to do. Just,
Give me
yeah,
my space.
give me my space.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think, yeah. In the midst, many things happened in the family. My father passed away. He was sick for quite some time.
Okay.
And I had to be with him in the hospital for months together.
Hmm.
But I was working from hospital then. Yeah. So
That would have been a tough time for you.
it was very difficult time. It was a very difficult time, and I had to balance family. My daughter was born. My father was sick at the same time, and Excitel had started. This is 2015.
Okay.
My daughter was few months old. Father was diagnosed with cancer of throat, and I had started Excitel. There was so much pressure from investors now to do something. So this was the time I need to balance family and work. And yeah, I mean, as I said, it saps everything, every ounce of energy and your mental strength. But you have to be persistent. You have to be persistent and think to yourself, this will pass. This shall pass, and it did pass ultimately.
Hmm.
This was the first episode. This was in 2015. Then post COVID, again my father was sick, but this time around he was very sick, and we had to be hospitalized for many months together. And I was working from hospital then. I was with him all the time, and yet at the same time I was working also from the hospital. So as I said, your work becomes your second nature. It doesn't leave you anywhere, whether you are
Hmm.
in hospital or whether you're at home or whatever. You It becomes your second nature, and like you're breathing and you are eating, you are working also at the same time.
Hmm.
So yeah. So having said that, what I'm trying to tell you is that, as I said, there are no excuses. You don't have to give excuse to anybody. You have to prove things to yourself, and you have to actually push the capabilities of your own self belief. I didn't believe back then that I could withstand so much pressure. I mean, if somebody would have asked me, let's say 10 years back, can you withstand this happening to you at the same time? I would have said, no, it's not possible. Nobody can. But
Hmm.
I did, and I think everybody else can also. It's the question of self belief. How much you believe in yourself, how much you can stretch yourself, how much you believe actually that you have it in you to do it, and ultimately this reservoir of energy comes from within to sort of execute those tasks.
So, do you believe in the power of your own internal being, your own internal, what do you call internal power that is in you, but it is kind of somewhere hidden because of circumstances, or maybe we have never let our inner
Yeah,
self, true
yeah.
self, come out.
Multiple things here. First and foremost, all biological beings correspond or interact with their environment through stressors.
Hmm.
What do I mean
I
by that?
agree. Hmm.
You're going to a gym and putting stress on your muscles. What
Hmm.
happens? The muscles grow. Yeah.
Right.
uh, a kid born 2.5, 3 years, you send him to school, or him or her to school. Why? You put stress on their mind for the first time.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and the mind starts developing. They learn to talk as soon as you put them in the prep school. And you have tried your best to teach them to talk and say words before that. But as soon as they go to school, within a month or 2 months, they're talking. Why? Because that's how biological beings, including humans, are developed through stressors. Yeah. Um, we are anti-fragile in that sense. What does it mean? It means you know what fragile is. You put
Right.
stress on it,
Yes.
it breaks.
Right.
And opposite of fragile is not robust. Robust would mean you put stress on it, it doesn't break. But
Hmm.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about anti-fragile. We're talking about put stress on the system and the system grows. System
Hmm.
likes to grow only through stress,
Hmm.
and that's how humans are. Humans are essentially anti-fragile creatures. All biological beings, for that matter, are anti-fragile creatures. Yeah. And entrepreneurship is also anti-fragile, but I'll tell you later how. Yeah. The more you put, I mean, stress in a controlled way. I mean, in a positive way. I'm not saying stress yourself out and die.
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying stress in a positive way. Keep challenging yourself both physically and mentally, and you'll see great results. Both we started this conversation by talking about how you started doing yoga and things started improving with you, and how I started running and things started improving with me, my body. What are we actually doing? We're putting stress on a system, and body reacts to that stress in a positive way. Yeah.
Hmm.
Similarly, I like to read a lot, and I think by reading, what am I doing? I'm putting stress on my mind. Even if it's a difficult read, it took me quite some time to read Thinking Fast, Thinking Slow by Danny Kahneman. He got Nobel Prize for that. But I had to read it. Come on, you need
It's
to
a
read.
difficult read. It's a
It's
difficult
a
read.
difficult read, but I had to read it and finish it. And so what are you doing by doing such things? You are putting stress on your system, stress on your mind, and the mind reacts by growing, by grasping these concepts. And otherwise, we are drifting. Otherwise, sort of mind and likes to drift all the time. That's the default state of mind, to drift, and you
Right.
have to make effort to stop it to drift. People do meditation. I also actually do meditation just to stop it to drift, stop the
Hmm.
chattering of this mind.
Right.
And the result is what? By this focus, the result is enhanced capability, enhanced capacity to withstand more, let's say, black swan events like the ones I faced.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, this is inherent with all humans. This is inherent with all beings. It's just that one has to realize this potential within them.
So is this the reason why some of the entrepreneurs who realize this true potential become successful, and some who just fizzle out because of not taking it positively are not able to succeed?
Exactly. So, for example, see, again, I believe once you're an entrepreneur, yeah, there are no compartments to your life. That
Hmm.
this part is for my family, this part is for something, and it doesn't work. You
Hmm.
become that, as I said.
Right. Yes.
Either you become that, or it fizzles out at some point of time. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you see how their lifestyles change considerably. People who are successful in
Hmm.
entrepreneurship, the 5 a.m. club. Why does
Hmm.
anybody need to wake up at 5 a.m.? Everybody likes to sleep, be on their bed, but they are putting stress on the system ultimately. Utilizing the best time of the day when they can think creatively, think positively. And now, see, no, don't forget they're doing this for themselves. They're not doing
Right.
this for salary ultimately. They're
Hmm.
not doing this to buy another TV, or another plot somewhere. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're really passionate about this project and this thing that they have created. Yeah, and for that, they alter their lifestyles in such a way that there is maximum amount of time for working, maximum amount of time for relaxing also, so that they can think better.
Think
Yeah.
better. Right.
So the whole lifestyle has to be altered. Yeah, and you need to put positive stress on your system, and then the results follow.
Right. Perfect. So, what do you think you are immensely grateful while building Excited?
Oh, grateful for my team, the people I have, with me. We are now around 3,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, mostly in sales. But we started with, let's say, 100, 200 people. And they have been there, like Rock of Gibraltar. I mean, they have been the backbone of the organization. People with me. Okay, I have this passion and the thing. Why are they doing it? I mean, why are they? I mean, if I had to put 12 hours, 13, 14 hours in a day, they were there with me to put in these hours,
Hmm.
and that's how you could you you cannot have passion alone. It doesn't
Hmm.
work. It has to
Hmm.
scale, and
Right.
these people have to, your team has to sort of, share that passion with
Hmm.
you. And
Hmm.
I think I'm grateful for having such people around me with whom I could start this, scale this, and take it to this level.
Wonderful. So, could you tell something about your role model? Who's your biggest role model and why?
But there's no single person. It's a big thing for me to say heroes or role models. I don't have such. I don't have such people who I see as perfect embodiment of what I want to be. But you see, let's say
Anyone who you
let's say
think
let,
is a
yeah,
good inspiration for you, or
yeah,
could be many.
yeah, actually many, in many ways. For
Hmm.
example, in the way they think, or the way they perceive business problems. Nassim Taleb, Nicholas Nassim Taleb,
Hmm.
uh, the guy who has written Black Swan and Antifragile that I was talking about.
Right.
And then there is Fooled by Randomness that he's written. 3, 4 books he's written, and that he's the one. I follow. I don't know whether Noel Harari. You wouldn't know Noel Harari.
Hmm.
Noel Harari. Yeah, I
Right.
like also the way he thinks. Yeah, and there's a person called Silicon Valley investor called Naval Ravikant. I don't know whether you know about him.
Yes, I've heard of him. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. He's. I think to a great extent, he's what I would like to be. Pretty sorted out in the way he perceives the world, and pretty sorted out in the way he sort of justifies where he is.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, and I've been following, as I said, told you at the start, J. Krishnamurti, Osho, and many such philosophers from long time now, many decades now. So some elements of all of them put together would give me inspiration to lead this life.
Wonderful. So, what's your message for the budding entrepreneurs?
The message would be simple, that once you have found the problem that you want to solve, and you think there is a business model there, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't look at naysayers. There will be many people who would try to bring you down and say this doesn't work, and this will not, even to a great extent. Don't even listen to some of the failures that will come from your investors. You will meet many prospective investors. They'll say no, it doesn't work. We faced failures for many years. Nobody was ready to invest in us, and ultimately, when you believe you have a real model, and you believe there's a real problem you are solving, just listen to your internal voice, and put everything in it once you get the chance, because you will get but one chance. Always you'll get the chance if you're persistent, but once you get the chance, don't let it go. Put everything that you have in it, and you will succeed for sure. Secondly, as I started saying, that entrepreneurship is also anti-fragile. This is the
Hmm.
only thing wherein you learn through failures. If you're in
Hmm.
a job and you fail, you get sacked, or somebody else in your team also gets fails, the whole team gets sacked.
Hmm.
In entrepreneurship, the more you fail, the more you learn. Failure is a tool for learning. So even while you are working and some model fails, some product fails, don't worry. This is your way to know that this product doesn't work and what will work. So failure is a way to learn. Failure is teaching you all the time. Learn from your failures and keep focusing on the target, and make your mark in the world. Thank you.
Thank you. So here comes the last part of our conversation. Uh, you have to give one word which is opposite of these words. Mistake.
So I have to say opposite of mistake.
Yes.
No mistake. Friction.
Okay. Fixed.
Lose.
Deficit.
Excess.
Shallow.
Not shallow. Deep.
Greed,
Uh, Generosity.
money,
Love.
challenges.
I'm thinking of something smart. Challenges, then laziness.
Okay. Interesting. Uh, it was lovely having you, Vivek, on this conversation. It was so insightful. We got to know different dimensions of entrepreneurship. We got to know how to scale. We got to know how to keep your inner self intact. Thank you so much for sharing such incredible insights with us.
Thanks, Monica. My pleasure.
Thank you.